Rochester and Finger Lakes homeowners, what if I told you that buyers are forming an opinion about your home before they ever pull into your driveway? In fact, many buyers have already decided whether they love your home, hate your home, or want to schedule a showing before they even leave their couch. And that means the most important first impression that you make as a seller today isn't your landscaping or your front porch, although those are still very important. It's your online listing. And if your home doesn't make a strong first impression online, then potential buyers are moving on. And you will never even know it. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 of the biggest factors that determine whether your online listing attracts buyers or gets overlooked, and why getting this right has a direct impact on your final sale price. Hi, my name is Susan Glenz. I am the founder and team leader of Bespoke Homes team at Keller Williams Realty. We are a top 1% real estate team in the greater Rochester and Finger Lakes area of New York. And we are committed to helping our clients, our seller clients, sell profitably and confidently. And if you're a homeowner considering selling in the next 6 to 12 months in Rochester or the Finger Lakes, then you've come to the right place. Think about how the home search actually works today. Because 20 years ago, it was different. Buyers leaned heavily on their agent to identify properties and set up tours. They would walk into an office, meet with an agent, right, and see what they had. Today, buyers are spending hours scrolling online before they ever reach out to anyone. They're zooming in, looking at photos, watching videos, studying floor plans, taking 3D tours, and then they're comparing your home to 3 others just like it and making decisions in seconds. Your online listing now acts as your first showing. And if that first showing isn't compelling, buyers are simply going to keep on scrolling to the next one. So let's start with the most fundamental piece of this. Photography. Believe it or not, I have seen actual listings in the multiple listing service, right, which is our database, where agents take photos with their iPhone and call it a day. This is like literally my biggest pet peeve. Sometimes you can even see the agent in the bathroom mirror, right, holding up the phone, trying to get a good angle. Maybe you're hoping to save some money by not having to hire a professional, or maybe your agent's hoping to save some money, right? But the money that you think you'd be saving or they think they'd be saving is actually going to cost you a lot more in the long run. Ever heard that saying, cheap is expensive? While these phone cameras, right, have certainly come a long way in terms of technology and clarity, here's the reality. Buyers can't walk through your home online. So the photos, they're doing all of the work, all of the heavy lifting. They are the entire experience for that buyer. Dark, blurry, poorly composed photos, or, having someone in the mirror makes even a beautiful home feel less appealing. Not because the house isn't special, but because the photos aren't giving buyers a reason to feel it. And professional photographers understand lighting and angles and composition and editing in a way that translates what a home actually feels like in person into something compelling on a screen. The goal isn't to make the house look different, okay? It's to make sure that the online experience matches how impressive the home actually is when you're standing in it. Because if buyers don't click, then they don't schedule. And if they don't schedule, then they're less likely to write an offer. Now, here's something most homeowners never think about. Even with beautiful photos, your home might not be showing up in the searches where buyers are actually looking. I want you to really pay attention here. This is important. The MLS, which is the system that we use to input our listings, right, has hundreds of fields an agent can complete when entering a listing. Bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, right, those are basic ones. But then you have waterfront features, acreage, school districts, garage details. The list goes on. And a single missed or incorrect field can quietly cut off a significant portion of your potential buyer pool. For example, I've seen it happen with waterfront properties where there's a beautiful home, appropriately priced, great photos, but the waterfront field wasn't entered correctly. So instead, it sits on the market for way longer than expected because every buyer who filtered specifically for waterfront listings never saw it. This is exactly how I was able to scoop up my Finger Lakes lake home 8 years ago in a hot market for less than list price. It had been sitting for a few weeks, and I realized it was listed as non-waterfront, which drastically lowered my competition. That's the kind of behind-the-scenes detail that most people never think about, right? Why would you? You're not a real estate agent. You don't think about these things. It's our job, right? But it matters enormously. Marketing isn't just about making your listing look good. It's about making sure that the right buyers can actually find it and that we're paying attention to every single detail about your home and taking credit for it. You've probably noticed that more listings include video now too. And there's a real reason for that. Photos show rooms, but videos tell a story that bring your property to life. And it helps buyers understand the flow of a home and how spaces connect, right? And how the light moves through them and what it actually feels like to move from room to room. That sense of atmosphere is nearly impossible to capture in one still image, right? One 2D image. But video gets us closer. And beyond the listing itself, video travels. Buyers are spending time on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and other platforms every day. And a well-produced property video lets your home meet buyers where they already are before they've even started formally searching. The goal is to create genuine excitement before the showing ever happens. The next piece of this is staging. And staging is more than following the latest trends or simply making a home look pretty. Most buyers struggle to visualize a space when it's empty, or when the furniture and decor don't reflect how the room is meant to function, or maybe doesn't match their style, right? It's not neutral enough. They need to see it. And professional staging helps buyers emotionally connect with the home. It creates a vision. It gives the space a feeling, a vibe, right? And helps them picture their life in it. When buyers form that emotional connection, they're often willing to pay more. National statistics indicate that professional staging can increase the sale price upwards of 10 to 12% more. And not only that, it helps homes sell faster. And time is money. For vacant homes, virtual staging has become a genuinely powerful tool. We've seen spaces that felt cold and hard to read, right? Empty rooms, completely come to life with thoughtful virtual design. The goal is not to deceive anyone, but to help them understand the potential of that space, because potential is what ultimately sells. The last piece is the one that didn't even really exist in real estate marketing 10 years ago, and it's one that sellers often overlook when they're choosing an agent. And that is social media presence. A lot of homeowners, I think, assume that every agent markets homes the same way. The reality is they don't. It's very different out there. And an agent with an established, engaged local following has access to an audience beyond the MLS, and sometimes thousands of people who are already paying attention to what that agent shares. And more exposure for you means more eyes on your listing. And more eyes can create more showings, and more showings can create more competition, and more competition tends to produce stronger offers, right? You see the cycle. So social media alone, however, doesn't sell a home, right? So let's be clear about that. But combining professional photography, video, accurate MLS data, and staging and social media, it becomes a real advantage. Okay, so here's what I want you to take away from all of this. Your home's first showing happens online. Before buyers see your front porch, before they walk through your door, before they experience your street even, they're evaluating your home from a screen. Your online listing has become the new curb appeal. And the sellers who treat it that way, who invest in presenting their home correctly from the very first impression online, are consistently the ones who attract more buyers, generate more competition, and walk away with the strongest outcome. With that being said, if you're ready to start your home selling journey in Rochester or the Finger Lakes, and you're seeking expert guidance from someone who has a track record of giving buyers an amazing first impression online with all the things we just talked about, then click the link below to connect with my team and get started today. If you're a discerning homeowner in the Rochester and Finger Lakes area and you've been following along and you found this content helpful, do me a favor and hit the like button, and you can subscribe if you haven't already for more content just like this. You can also comment below and share with us any topics or questions that you want us to answer in the future. We'll see you next time.